the major section of Revelation that we go to figure out what was the crisis, if there was one, what was going on. There's been a lot of debate as to what was the nature of the problem, but it's chapters 2 and 3 where you find 7 prophetic messages. Those aren't really letters. We often call them letters to the 7 churches. They're not letters at all. They're prophetic proclamations or prophetic messages to the churches. And those messages do uncover to some degree what the parent problem was. And from what we know about the location of the churches and what was going on in those cities from other sources, it appears that a couple things were going on. The basic issue was, I think, to just summarize it in simple terms, is these 7 churches were struggling with what it meant to live out their faithful witness in a hostile culture and world, which was the Roman Empire. The 7 churches, as John himself says, they were at the heart of the Roman province of Asia Minor, which was one of the most significant provinces. Most of the cities, they had different temples to pagan gods. They had different altars to pagan gods. Most of them had shrines or altars or temples in honor of the emperor, for emperor worship. So it seems that Christians were confronted with this. And one interesting thing that Revelation seems to overturn, a common misconception, one that I always heard growing up, Revelation is a book written to comfort persecuted Christians. And when you read the letter, I just committed that mistake, letters. The messages of the 7 churches, only 2 of the churches are being persecuted or suffering some kind of persecution, whether ostracism or verbal abuse or something like that for their faith. The other 5 are in danger of some level of compromise with the world. And you get to the last one, Laodicea, they are so far gone. The message has nothing good to say about that church. They have so compromised with the pagan world and their pagan Roman surrounding. So Revelation, I think, is basically written then to comfort those churches that are suffering for their faithful witness in a pagan world, but then to shock out of their complacency those churches that have compromised with their pagan surroundings. And so I think Revelation's message is kind of twofold in that regard. And as I said, I think some of those churches that were compromising, yeah, they may not have recognized that we're compromising. And so that's why I said it's Revelation for some of them may have been kind of a wake-up call to see, no, there's a real crisis in front of you. And it's a call for them to maintain their faithful witness no matter what consequences it might bring in that kind of hostile environment they're living in.